How's it going, everybody? Welcome into the off-season live stream. I've got Colorado, North Carolina, or North Dakota State game over here on the side of me. Bison up 10-7 right now on the Deion Sanders Buffaloes. Um, I'm accidentally in a football game. We can simulate the rest of this. For some reason, I didn't finish my game, so I'm gonna just go ahead and simulate this. This is just my personal South Carolina Dynasty. Kind of win there. It's a good one. Welcome in, everybody. How are you all doing? Thank you for joining. Let me know. Make sure that you can hear me pretty good. But thank you all for joining me on this live stream. We're just going to be doing the off-season live stream tonight. In this reality, I beat Appalachian State as the Gamecocks, but, you know, in our world, hopefully that doesn't happen. But let's go ahead and get over here into our actual Dynasty save. And what do you guys think of the game so far? A couple months in now, right? Not, I guess, a little over a month in now, right? Maybe right at a month, something like that. I can't remember when it came out, but I've definitely got my gripes. I've definitely got some high points and some low points for this game. I really do think that they've got a good foundation. They've done a good job building this game, but on the other hand, you know, there's definitely some issues that I could see. Let me go ahead, actually, and I am going to... I'm not sure where the best place for me to be is. I'm trying to do this without moving. Yeah, that's what I was trying not to do. Okay. I'm just going to leave me there for the time being. Because I'm moving around my entire screen at this point, and then, yeah, I'm not trying to do that. So, yeah, we'll just leave it like that for right now. And then, actually, let me move it to the top right. You guys are watching me do this on the fly, so... And it doesn't want to connect. Not what I was grabbing at all. Okay, that'll have to do. No, I'm trying to get it. You guys will have to bear with me for a second here. There we go. That's better, yeah. That's good. Appreciate you guys bearing with me. That way the left corner, I know there's a lot of stuff that pops up in the left corner, and inevitably something's going to pop up in the right corner, but I will move when we get to that point. Anyways, let's get to the topic at hand. As I was mentioning, EA College Football 25. What do you guys think about the game so far, right around a month in? I do think there's some things they need to work on. Blocking is definitely a low point in the game. There's not a lot of AI logic there, but that's something they've been dealing with for a long time now. But hey, we're worried about our Dynasty mode. We went 7-6 in year one. Got a couple offers. Got an offer from Akron, Eastern Michigan, Houston, Vanderbilt. I mean, those are some, I guess really only Houston's an upgrade, but not really interested in any of those. We're going to be at App State for a while. Welcome in anybody that is new into the live stream. Thanks for joining me. We are just going to be going through the off-season number one here as we finish out the regular season. There are a lot of things we have to go through to get through that. Here's what our recruiting class looks like right now. If we go through and we just look at a lot of these guys, I'm pretty excited to get Jonathan Doss on roster. I think he's going to be really good for us. He's definitely, you know, he's a blocking tight end, so he's not going to be a huge weapon, but we could use the blocking on the outside, and he's still got all right, you know, pass or catching abilities. I would imagine he's got some good traits. Unfortunately, only normal development. That's going to be a little bit tough to work with. Josh Martino, pretty excited about. He's 82 speed. I really like having a quicker linebacker. He's not really good in pass coverage, but he's more of a run stopper. So I am looking forward to getting him on roster. The rest of these guys, Connor Nall, is pretty big for us. We got him a little later in the season at but yeah, he's a 3-star, so he's not going to be anything crazy, but he's hopefully going to be at least a little good for us as we continue to round out this. This is what the rest of the recruiting class looks like so far. Everybody that's committed: Ezekiel Wanham, pretty excited about him. 92 speed, 93 acceleration. He might honestly get on the field right now, year one. We have Caleb Toll. We have Ruben Terrell. Andre Alodukin, I really want him. He's a 3-star athletic guy. I think he could be a really good receiver for us, or maybe even a tight end. Chuck Creed at free safety. And then Dennis Yeast, I'm actually adding on to because I want to try and get him. Yeah, we don't have any hours right now, so we can't do anything for him. I want to try and get him and swap him over to tight end. I think that would be really a good idea. I think that would be a bit of an exploit, but you know, you got to do what you got to do when you're rebuilding a program. As far as our staff goes, if you did catch the episode a few days ago, we ended up firing our defensive coordinator. We're trying to bring in a slightly better upgraded defensive coordinator, Heath Irwin. I think he is, the previous one was a D grade. This guy's a C grade. So, I mean, not crazy improvement, but anything is better with how our defense played. And let's just take a look at how this team performed. I do think, you know, we could have had a much better season, but I'm happy with 7-6 after a 4-game losing streak. You don't typically make a bowl game after something like that, so I was excited to actually make a bowl game. But let me know what you guys think. I think we could have done better, maybe, but it's gonna be tough for us to improve next season, as we have to try and find a replacement for Joey Aguilar. Now, Joey Aguilar, don't get me wrong, had his lows. He had that one game where he had about 5 interceptions, I think, at one point. And that is obviously not a recipe for success, but he finished the year, 28 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, right around 3,600 yards. He was completing about 70% of his passes. You know, he had a good year. I mean, I won't be mad at him for playing that the way he did in his senior season. He should get drafted somewhere in the draft, probably 6th or 7th round, but still. Unfortunately, though, our offensive line just wasn't very good. He got sacked 37 times, and not a lot of that was his fault. You know, sometimes these quarterbacks, they try to make plays, they try to move around the pocket a little too much, and they get sacked. That wasn't the case with Joey Aguilar. He was doing his best and really just didn't have protection at all for a large majority of the season. But despite that, he didn't get injured a single time. He was the quarterback the entire year. Zach Phillips had a few snaps there at the end of the year in that blowout win over Georgia Southern, but we really didn't have to worry about a quarterback, and that's going to be something we have to worry about next year, but that's a problem we'll have to look to. As far as rushing game goes, we're going to be losing our number one passer in Joey Aguilar. We're now going to be losing our number one rusher in Mikael Haywood. Both of those guys will be graduating. Haywood had finished the year a little over 1,000 yards on the season, 8 touchdowns, 214 carries. Definitely wished we could have got him involved a little bit better. I do think that he is a lot better than we gave him credit for. I think he's a lot better than we used him for. And it's definitely going to be a interesting situation to replace him. But I do think Kanye Roberts can do exactly what we need him to. Maybe even to a better job than Mikael Haywood did. Welcome in anybody. I just want to keep saying that. Hey, welcome into the stream. But Kanye Roberts is obviously now leaning towards being the starter on the year. He had 78 carries, 411 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joey Aguilar had 5 touchdowns on the ground as well. Anderson Castle will be here still. He's 21 carries, 75 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Mr. Efficient had a great year as our power back. We didn't really use him a whole lot, but honestly, we didn't need to. And then Kamani Alexander, I was surprised and impressed in his limited time. I mean, he had 7 yards per carry, so I want to get him involved next year no matter his overall, I think he could do a good job as our running back. So maybe, we have a bit of a trick play that we go to him, something like that to get him involved in the offense. As far as receiving goes, Caden Robinson led the team in yards, but not receptions. He also had 7 touchdowns. Michael Hetzel, who will be back next year, led the team in receptions. He was 2nd in yards, and he was number 1 in touchdowns with 8. The rest of this team, not a lot of production on the touchdown front, but still a good overall production. Kanye Roberts had 540 yards through the air. Eli Wilson, who will be graduating, had 432 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. Christian Horn was a little disappointing. He only had 2 touchdowns, 368 yards. Mikael Haywood had 249. We've got to really try and get, the ball spread around a lot next year. Now, one guy I'm very excited for is Grant Tucker. This guy, 72 overall, didn't play too much. He's not exactly a very good player as of right now. He's got a lot of potential. And the main thing that is good about him is his potential. He is a very fast, elusive receiver, and I'm excited to see where he can be next year. I really want to see him be our number 1 guy coming into next season. I want to see him take that leap in the off-season training. Kanan Hamlet maybe can take a leap. It's going to be between him and David Larkins for that starting tight end spot. I'm assuming David Larkins is going to win the job, but we'll see. I mean, I guess one of them could theoretically transfer. As far as the offensive line goes, we had a lot of sacks, 37, as you saw, and a lot of that came from the right side of the line. Our right tackle and our right guard both allowed 18 sacks total and 8 sacks from our center. Our left side of the line, flawless. 4 sacks total from the left side of the line, but 18 from the right. That is just unacceptable. We've got to get these guys more prepared. Zach Wynn will be graduating, so we're going to have to replace him with somebody. But that's for the offseason to figure out. Defensively, I was really proud of where they came and played those last few games. Jordan Favors will be back. 51 solo tackles, 113 total, 12 TFLs, 2.5 sacks, 1 interception on the year. I'm so happy he's going to be back. That guy is the leader of this defense, and Miles Farmer is graduating, so we needed to have at least one of our safeties back. TFLs, the leader on the team is Thomas Davis with 22. Brennan Harrington had 19, and Michael Fletcher had 16. Those are the top 3 guys there. For sacks, Thomas Davis, Michael Fletcher, and Sean Collins. We were able to get a good amount of pressure, I would say. Maybe not consistently, but a solid amount overall. For interceptions, we had 5 with Seth Robertson. Ethan Johnson had 4. And then we saw Caden Sullivan and Miles Farmer with 2, and a couple of guys had 1 interception as well. Forced fumbles, we didn't have a lot. Deflections, Miles Farmer led the team. Forced fumbles, we didn't really force a lot. We only forced 4 on the season. Brendan Harrington had 2 of those, and then we saw Trent Allen Yo and Ethan Johnson with those, and we actually didn't recover all of them. We only recovered 3 of the fumbles that we forced. Kicking-wise, definitely going to need an improved kicker next year. Michael Hughes will be graduating. We do have 1 on roster, Jackson Moore. He'll be a redshirt sophomore next year. We're going to go with him. We're going to see how he does. Michael Hughes just couldn't quite get it going. 65% from the field, 13 of 20. I was hoping he would do a little bit better, but unfortunately he just didn't do as good as I thought he would do. Team stats, we'll look and see where we finished as far as around the country goes. I thought you could look, national. We had the 2nd most offensive yards. That is crazy to even say. We were top whatever in passing yards, and we were also top 10 or so in rushing yards. We averaged a good amount of points per game. We were 32.2 points per game. Passing touchdowns, we had 28, so we're not going to be up there all that much. Rushing touchdowns, we were pretty high up there with 21. On defense, though, we are going to be pretty low. Yeah, we allowed more yards than anyone else in the country. That's not going to be a good recipe for success, I can go ahead and tell you that. Passing, we were the most in the country. Rushing, we were not all that bad. Passing was where it was at. We allowed almost 4,000 passing yards against us. 391 points were scored against us, which isn't even the worst. We did get a lot of sacks, 38 sacks. Not a lot of forced fumbles, but we did have a lot of interceptions. 17 picks on the year. Pretty good. Conversion-wise, we were about 5th in the country on third downs. Pretty solid. We didn't go for it on fourth a whole lot. I mean, actually, we probably went for it a decent amount compared to other teams, and we were pretty high on those conversions there as well. As we will now get a look at the college football playoffs. Conference standings. We'll take a quick look and see. Actually, we just need to look at the we can just look at the schedules here, as North Dakota State hanging around with Colorado 14-10. They're losing by 4 now, but they're sticking around in this game for the conference championships. In this reality, though, Liberty is going to take home Conference USA. They beat Jacksonville State 38-21. Arizona 43-38 over Oklahoma State. They're in the playoffs now. Both of those teams are. We saw Bowling Green barely lose to Toledo by 3 in the MAC Conference Championship. Sunbelt Old Dominion beat up on South Alabama by 3 to win our conference. Memphis whooped East Carolina to win their conference. Nevada, man, they tried. They almost upset Boise State to win the Mountain West Conference, but Boise State wins by 4. Ole Miss upsets Alabama, and they are in the playoffs, as well as the Crimson Tide. And then for the ACC Championship, we saw FSU win by 3. Once again, both of those teams made the conference championship. And the Big Ten Championship, USC in year 1 makes it, but they can't quite win. They go down 37-16. A big 3rd and 8 now for North Dakota State. I don't know about you guys, but I'm rooting for North Dakota State. Uh-oh. They got a penalty down. It was an incomplete pass, but maybe they got a holding penalty or anything. Here's a look at our playoffs, though. Liberty and Texas A&M will take on each other in round 1. Then you've got NC State and Clemson, a bit of an ACC matchup there. The ACC actually have 3 teams in the conference or in the college football playoffs. It's pretty impressive, in my opinion. They're tied with the SEC, so, I mean, that's pretty good. Michigan takes on Alabama in round 1. Oklahoma State takes on TCU. The bye weeks go to Florida State, Ohio State, Arizona, and Ole Miss. We'll keep an eye on that as we simulate forward. All-Americans around the country, I'll give you guys a quick look at it. This is the national team. Thomas Castellanos out of Boston College. We didn't have anybody up there. Maybe we had second team. We did not. Any freshmen? No, we didn't have a single person, but we should have somebody in the Sun Belt, I would imagine. Yeah. Grant Tucker and William Folds, even though neither of them played. That's kind of crazy. But for first team, we had Sean Collins and Jordan Favors. For second team, we probably should have Trent Allen Yo. No, Ethan Johnson and Michael Hughes are there for second team. And we'll go around the award winners. I like to get all this on video, so if I ever want to go back and, have evidence or, remember what happened. Will Howard takes on Player of the Year. Head Coach of the Year goes to Brian Burnside. Best Quarterback goes to Will Howard. Somehow he didn't win Heisman. Best Defensive Player, we almost had it. Thomas Davis was up there, but Jordan Birch won it instead. Defensive Back goes to Denzel Burke. Jordan Favors almost won it, and Trent Allen Yo almost won it as well. Travion Henderson takes home Best Running Back. Kobe Drake takes home Best Receiver. Jack Sawyer takes home the Best Lineman Award out of Ohio State. Ohio State also gets the Best Senior Quarterback Award with Will Howard. Jordan Birch, once again, the South Carolina Trader, takes home Best Defensive End. Interior lineman goes to Tate Ratledge. We really didn't have anybody in any of these besides those 2. Kane Barong gets Best Tight End. The Broyles Award goes to Best Assistant Coach. Brendan Harrington. Hey, Thomas Davis wins Best Linebacker. Fine with that. Best Center, we obviously aren't going to get. Best Kicker, we obviously aren't going to get. Punter, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're not going to be on any of those. As we can now basically simulate forward. We're in bowl week 1 of 4, so we're going to go through. We'll keep an eye out on the playoffs. There's everybody that's most likely going to transfer, but we'll see that in the actual players leaving stage. Sean Collins won Sunbelt Defensive Player of the Week after our bowl game against San Jose State. Very excited for him. Mikael Haywood takes home Offensive Player of the Week after his impressive bowl game for his final game of his college career. We are now in our bye week. We should have been able to sign our defensive coordinator. Let's go. Heath Irwin. I mean, after allowing that many yards, there was no way we could keep our old defensive coordinator, so we had to make a change. Will it make a difference? Probably not. But, you know, we're just going to have to hope that it makes some type of difference. As far as the college football playoffs go, A&M takes down Liberty. They had a, you know, hard-fought year. They made the playoffs. That's enough to worry about or to celebrate for. Clemson upsets NC. Well, they were the one seed higher, so they don't upset them, but they beat NC State. Michigan beats Bama. They upset them, the 11 seed, taking down the 6 seed. And then Oklahoma State thrashes TCU 57-0. We don't have a lot to do in these first few weeks, so we just kind of keep moving forward. We should be able to just simulate and should be at the national championship right now, I think. We'll see. Yeah, so we're going actually into the semifinals. Florida State loses to A&M. Clemson loses to Ohio State. Michigan wins again. They get out of the first round all the way to the semifinals. And then Oklahoma State falls to Ole Miss by 2. So now we have a 2 seed versus an 11 seed over there in that bottom area. Let's go ahead and get our upgrades going. It has North Dakota State in the red zone. They are, you know, fighting for this game. I'm going to go ahead and see. Let's get this a little higher. North Dakota State is down by 4 still, but they're down at about the 6-yard line. Who are you guys rooting for in that game? I don't know. It's just hard to root for Colorado. You know, it really is. And North Dakota State always has that underdog factor. I think they've got a really good program. Obviously, they do. They've got a really good FCS program, and I think it's just fun to root for the upset, especially with a team like Colorado, as we now have a look at who is actually in the college football championship. It will be 1 versus 2 seeds, so all those upsets, and we get what we expected. Ole Miss taking on Ohio State in Atlanta, Georgia. Rooting for the Rebels in that one. We should be able to just advance over. And North Dakota State scores. They are now ahead of Colorado, 17-10. Or 14, actually. So they have a bit of an advantage. And, man, now a lot of guys are contemplating transferring. Nate Johnson, Sean Collins, Zach Phillips, Kyle Arnholt, Thomas Schrader is definitely going to transfer. Hopefully we can convince some of those guys to stay. We're at the end of the season. Let's see. Ohio State takes home the national championship. They win it 35-14. Wasn't even close. Will Howard with 5 tutties on the day, as he will probably win the MVP of the college football playoff game. And we are now ready to get into the offseason. Players leaving. We've got to hope we can convince some of these transfers. It looks like maybe over here on the real game, they're trying to call a pick play on North Dakota State, but I don't think they're going to. It's still, yeah, the score's on the board. That's going to stand. And, yeah, we expected Thomas Schrader. Sean Collins would be a big hit. Jaden Ramsey would be a big hit. Zach Phillips, maybe not so much. Griffin Scroggs. We can't really afford to lose offensive linemen if we're being honest with ourselves. Kanan Hamlet wants to leave. All right. We've got some big decisions to make. I know I want Kamani Alexander back. He's going to stay. We only have 5 opportunities. We're going to use one on Thomas Schrader. Extremely low. I'm not even going to waste it. I mean, he's not staying at 86 overall. He's been ready to transfer this entire season. But I would like Jaden Ramsey back. We convinced him to stay. We're going to use every single one of our persuasions as we can. Offensive line is a very important part. We can't get Griffin Scroggs back. Now we have a big decision to make. Kanan Hamlet, Caden Sweat, Sean Collins. We're definitely asking for him to come back. He decides not to come back. We have one to go out of, man, 4 players to choose from. DJ Burks. I mean, I wish I could see their player card right now. Unfortunately, that's one thing I want 2K EA to add is the ability to see a player's player card no matter where you're at, because I don't want to lose these guys. I would like to see all their skills. DJ Burks is a sophomore. Is he going to get on the field? Let's take a look at what our free safety position is looking like right now after losing Miles Farmer. Jordan Favors is there. DJ Burks, I mean, he's not going to get on the field most likely. Maybe he would, though. He's got decent speed, 87 speed, 90 acceleration, 83 change of direction. He's an okay guy in coverage. Not that great, honestly. He's okay in zone. Man. I mean, we could rely on a guy like Avarion Cole. Or hope that, like... I mean, we have a free safety coming in from our class, I believe. Can we not see our recruiting class right now? Oh, my goodness. Who do we go after, guys? Who do you guys think we should use our last persuasion attempt on? Zach Phillips is there. He's a sophomore. I don't know if we necessarily need him, but we don't have a guaranteed quarterback next year, so you'd always, be willing to go after a guy like him. You got DJ Burks. You got Kanan Hamlet. Kanan Hamlet's really interesting as well. Let me take a look at our roster right now. Joey Aguilar's graduated, obviously. So right now, if we don't go after Zach Phillips, we have 2 quarterbacks on roster. We'll have Billy Wiles, 75 overall. He'll be a senior next year. We'll have Matthew Wilson. And then hopefully we would bring in Caleb Toll in the offseason. But that doesn't leave us a lot of options. Zach Phillips is okay. Tight end, Kanan Hamlet. David Larkins is going to be back. He's going to be starting most likely. But I wouldn't mind having Kanan Hamlet. But the real question is, do we need him? I think we do. Man, this is a tough call. I think I'm going to use it on Kanan Hamlet. Just because I really like his game. I think he could get involved in this offense. This might be the wrong call to make. But we convinced him to stay. So we're going to be losing Caden Sweat, DJ Burks, and Dylan Barbie. As well as Zach Phillips, Griffin Scroggs, Sean Collins, which is a big hit. He was really important to our offense. And then Thomas Schrader, or our defense. And then Thomas Schrader will be leaving as well. Let's see what the Buffaloes are up to over here. Trailing. Looks like they actually just may have turned the ball over. So the Bison up 17-14. They take over at the Buffaloes' 35-yard line. Colorado might be in a little bit of trouble. Shadur Sanders on the ground, though. He's injured. He's trying to get the training staff over there. Very invested in this game because that would be hilarious to start the year if Colorado loses. Now we get into the actual draft results. Joey Aguilar goes in round 7. We get a little bit of XP for that. Nothing crazy as we now... Do we actually get a look at our roster without everybody on it? I think we should. Let's go ahead and see what we're looking and working with right now. No, we don't get to unless... Okay, so the graduated guys don't show up. Or don't leave yet. But the transfers leave. That doesn't really make any sense to me. But we'll continue with what we have right now. So let's go ahead and look at our recruiting board. I believe we should have everybody that we normally have. Caleb Toll is there. We're going to go after him pretty heavily. I really, really want him on roster. I think he's talented. I think he could play a few different positions. And I'm excited to see him potentially commit. I really want him to commit. Unfortunately, we don't exactly have the best pitch for him, but I do want him to commit. Ruben Terrell, a 2-star right end. I'm also interested in him a lot. We do have some good pitches for him. Proximity to home is going to be the best for a lot of these guys. Andre O'Dowkin is pretty good. 86 speed, not the greatest, but he's a tall, physical receiver. We're going to take all the help we can get. He's also another guy that we can use proximity to home for. We'll drop a solid 50 towards him. Chuck Creed is here as well. 2-star free safety. Maybe we'll lose him to replace, or get him to replace DJ Burks. As we now will go over here. We're going to offer a scholarship to Dennis Yeast. We're not going to go too crazy after him. We'll go 30 after him. And now I can't actually see my recruiting points, unfortunately. Can I actually double click and move both of these at the same time? I cannot. So we'll just have to hope that we have enough points. Let's go ahead and take a look at people who are interested in us in the transfer portal, though. Anybody that has us at number 1 is an interest. Dynasty Johnson, a 3-star out of Kennesaw State. Transfer sophomore. I'm definitely going to go after a guy like him. Chauncey Logan. Ricky Lee III. We need a free safety. We just lost our best one. Bunch of defensive linemen. We really could use some offensive line help. Is there anybody on offense interested in us? Quarterbacks-wise, Taj Bullock out of Akron has us at 4. Deshaun Purdy out of Charlotte has us at 4 as well. Anybody else? Ashton Daniels from Stanford. Could be a guy to go after. He's 6'2". Man, I don't really want to go after a ton of quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Which one of these do you think we should go after? I'm going to get Deshaun Purdy on the board because he's a freshman, so he has the best ability to develop and potentially play for us. I think we're going to leave everybody else. Billy Atkins, maybe. He's a junior. We could go after him. We're going to look. I mean, I'm open to any position. Receiver, we could use a number 1 guy. Adam Randall, Traylon Ray has us at 8. Adam Randall from Clemson. He's probably going to be pretty good. Traylon Ray is there as well. Tight ends, anybody interesting? Not a single tight end interested in us. Offensive linemen, very interested in us. Kamar Missouri out of UTSA and Jimto Obedewegu out of Kent State. Offensive guard. We're very desperate for some offensive linemen. Moritz Schmorenranzer, however you would pronounce that. Carter Swezzy and Ben Murawski is there as well. Any of these guys? Defensive ends. Quincy Cumberland, I'm not really interested in a 1-star at this point. He's not going to get on the field for us. Desmond Black is there. Stephalon Green would be pretty big for us. I'm going to go after him. Do we actually have a full target board? We do. So we'll go ahead and let's just look around and see who's interested in us. Baron Hobson, Everett Rousseau Jr., Anwar Sparrow. Middle linebacker, we've got Dunelius Johnson, who we're going to go after. Cornerback, guys that are most interested in us, Brandon Nicholson and Chauncey Logan. We're going after Chauncey Logan for sure. Free safeties, we got Ricky Lee. So let's go ahead and look at what we have right now. We'll scout a little bit. I'm not going to scout everybody because that would just be too expensive. But Dunelius Johnson, he's got 80 speed, 86 pursuit. He's a field general. He's got good zone coverage for a linebacker. I think he's a guy we definitely go after. And we probably give him a 50-point recruit, as North Dakota State is now in the red zone again, up by 3 on Colorado and a penalty. Wonder what they're going to call here. Something on the offense, so North Dakota State's going to be backing up a little bit. Chauncey Logan, how good are you, man? Man coverage, 78. I like a lot of man coverage. That's pretty solid. We're going to go after him pretty heavily. So we will hopefully get a couple of these guys to commit. I'm going to scout Ricky Lee the third. He's got 90 speed. That can't be bad for a free safety. We're going to go after him pretty heavily. Jalen Richards could be our Sean Collins replacement, so we're going to offer. I can't afford to scout everybody, so we're definitely not going to scout him. Cameron Stewart is there as well. We'll go after him about 30 or so. Never mind, we will not. We don't have enough hours for it. So let's go up here. Let's see the guys that we're leading on pretty heavily. We're leading very heavily on Andre O'Dowkin. Think we can get away with just doing 25. Caleb Toll, we are leading pretty heavily on, so maybe we can just get away with doing 30 or so. I don't want to lose out on him, though, is the main thing. But I am fine with giving him 30. Anybody else down here that we want to recruit pretty heavily? Cameron Stewart, we're going to give him 25. Adam Randall would be huge for us. Traylon Ray would be also huge for us. Junior or sophomore? Junior or sophomore? But we have to focus on offensive line, in my opinion. So we're going to go after the offensive lineman a little bit more heavy. And I think that's the right decision to make because we don't have a lot of talent on the offensive line. Do we have any hours left? We've got enough to give them 10, and yeah, that's about it. So hopefully we can get some commits in this first week. I'm counting on Caleb Toll maybe committing. Hopefully. Let's go ahead and simulate ahead a week. North Dakota State, 2nd and goal from the 15 or so, 13-yard line. Nobody commits. We do get locked out of Adam Randall. That sucks. I wanted to stay in the race just a little bit longer and maybe, you know, come back later in the recruiting period, but nobody commits. As Colorado gets a stop on 2nd and goal, they are now forced to a 3rd and goal from the 13-yard line. Pretty deep play to run from. Moritz Schmorenhauser cut us out, and Adam Randall cut us out as well. But that means we have a chance to go after Traylon Ray pretty heavily. Maybe we can give him some points there. Anybody else that I'm really interested in? I wouldn't mind just, you know, offering, you know, 10, 15 points to Deshaun Purdy. See what he's interested in. Anybody else that we're, like, really far behind on? Carter Swezzy. Yeah, we're pretty far behind on a lot of these guys. Ben Morawski. Who would I like to go after more is the real question. I mean, he's a freshman, and we need help on the right side of the line. So we're going to go after Ben Morawski. How many points do we have left? Do we have enough left for a 50 burger? Okay. I'm not going after him with 50, but I just wanted to make sure how much we had left. Because I want to see if I can schedule a visit here for anybody. If anybody's interested in anything we have. Kamar, Missouri is interested in proximity to home. So let's see if we have enough points for a visit for anybody else. Ricky Lee the third is interested, and we have a very good pitch for him in playing time. So I'm going to go after that for him. That's probably one of the best pitches you can have. And finally, Danelius Johnson, proximity to home. We have an A- on that. And we still have some points left. So I'm going to actually... Can I find another visit? Jimto Obadegu is interested in a visit already. And we have a good playing style for him. How many points do I have left? Apparently I have enough left to do more visits for some of these guys. Chauncey Logan is there, but we don't know any interest for him yet. Danelius Johnson. Let's go back over and see what we have left. Who's interested in us? Quincy Cumberland is there. I'm not really interested in a 1-star. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think a 1-star transfer is going to play a lot for us. I don't think that's really going to answer anything for us. Deshaun Rucker, Baron Hobson, Jericho Washington. Man, Hammond Russell interested in not getting a lot of play from other teams. Defensive tackle from West Virginia. He could be an option. Anybody else that jumps off the screen for me? Not really. I think we go after him because he has a second, I believe. No, he has a third. So we could choose between a lot of these teams. We're going to go after him. He's only a junior. Well, actually, let's look and see. If you're going to get transfers like that, you want to go after the guys who are probably the youngest because they have the most time to develop. DJ Cotton is a 2-star, but he has us at 4th. We got to go after guys who haven't got a lot of interest yet. Guys who maybe haven't gotten a commit, who haven't... 4-star defensive tackle. Jordan Phillips. I know I just contradicted what I was saying, but if a 4-star is interested in you, you cannot waste the opportunity. Do I have enough to go for 10? I do not. Well, actually, maybe I do if I get rid of this 5. There we go. Now we're down to 0, so we're going to stick with that. Where do we stand as far as recruiting class goes? Probably not very good. Yeah, not very good. 57th in the country right now. We have 2 4-stars, 4 3-stars, and 10 2-stars. Not the best look for us right now. Not the best class that I think we could put out. Let's see if anybody commits. I need somebody to commit. Give me some extra points. No one commits still. Oh, my goodness. That's rough. Now I've got to make sure that they're not jumping on Caleb Toll or whatever, trying to steal our recruits. Because I kind of feel like they might be. Caleb Toll still has us at number 1. Okay, we're going to just go ahead and we'll use 20 extra points. We've got plenty of extra points after all those visits to go after you all the way. Because I want you to commit after this last one. Ruben Terrell. Competing between us and Liberty. Andre Eldokin. Competing between us and Clemson, but he doesn't have an offer yet. Chuck Creed has an offer from Jack State now. Dynasty East has an offer from FIU. Danelius Johnson has an offer from Marshall and Wake Forest. Chauncey Logan only has us, so we should be pretty locked in on him. Same thing with Ricky Lee. Jalen Richards only has us. Cameron Stewart, though, competing with us. And we're going to go a little bit heavier after Deshaun Purdy. I'm pretty happy with him. So I think we go... Do we go 40? Try and sway him? If we can get something that has playing style and... Hey, that's pretty good. Even if he has no interest in playing time, he has playing style, proximity to home, and then a B+ and A- for the other 2 values. I'm going to go with the sway, and then we are going to visit or schedule him for a visit for proximity to home. Hopefully that gives him a good amount of interest because he might be our starting quarterback next year. Transfer freshman could be a long-term starter for this team, especially if we bring him in and are, you know, needing a new starting quarterback. Anybody else needs a visit? Well, let's go ahead and make sure who we're working with here. Jimto Obadegu is probably a lost cause. Unfortunately, we're just too far behind on him. Ben Morosky has us at number 1. I am going to go ahead. I mean, we have extra points. Why not give him a little bit extra? Like, why not do it? Jordan Phillips has us interested in him. I mean, he's going to play. He's going to play a lot for us if we bring him in. So I don't see why we don't go after him. As he has us at 3rd right now. Yo, what's up, Elijah? How you doing? Thanks for joining the live stream. Where else do we take these points? I mean, we are out of points technically. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, this is actually the off-season of one of my series that I run on my channel, but I appreciate you stopping by and joining us. So if you want to check out the rest of the series, it's on my channel, the Appalachian State Dynasty. We're at the end of Season 1. Had a bit of a rough year in Year 1, but we were able to get 7 wins, which, you know, pretty good. Not the best, but still pretty solid. But yeah, appreciate you coming in. As we are currently in week 3 of our recruiting stage in the off season. I am debating who I want to give some points to. We're really far ahead on Ricky Lee, and he doesn't have anybody else recruiting him, so we're gonna... I don't really like doing it this way. So, but we're going to take away his points and give a visit to Jordan Phillips for playing style of college football. Yeah, college football 25, it's been a lot of fun. I've got a lot of hours in it already. It's got some issues, but it's definitely a really fun game, and plan to keep playing it for as long as I do this series and, you know, just playing it in my free time. But I appreciate you joining the channel and watching my videos. What's your favorite team? I'm interested to know what teams you're running in Dynasty right now. I haven't really gotten into any other game mode besides Dynasty. I haven't touched Ultimate Team at all. I haven't played Road to Glory at all. My league on NBA 2K24. Yeah, NBA 2K is probably my favorite. I do have a series planned in NBA 2K25. I had a Charlotte Hornets My NBA going on in 24, but then this game came out. I got a little busy and I, you know, focused on this series predominantly. But with NBA 2K25, I have a poll on my community tab if you want to vote for it right now. It looks like I'm going to be using the Pelicans in my series, so that should be an interesting one. See what we do with Zion. Whether we build around Zion or we move on from Zion, that would be an interesting rebuild. Because they have a lot of pieces that you could trade. Straight off the top of my head, I mean, CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray could go. Brandon Ingram could go. Oh, Vols for life. We're going to disagree on that a little bit. I'm a South Carolina fan, so I know you guys beat us a lot, but we gave y'all a heartbreak a few years ago. But y'all will, I know y'all get back. I think Nico's a pretty good quarterback, but we'll have to see how he plays. I know y'all have a pretty good, what's y'all's defensive lineman's name who's pretty good? I think it's James Pierce. That dude's crazy in this game right here. He's very good in this game. Let's see, can I get a sway in campus lifestyle and proximity to home? I can. It's also going to include academic prestige, which we just don't really have. So, yeah, we're going to go after him fully. Andre O'Dalkin, I like where he's at with 35. Chuck Creed, we're probably going to lose out on. It looks like Jacksonville State's making a lot of movement there, coming back in that one. Denelius Johnson, I think we stick where we're at right now. We don't have a lot of points left anyways. I mean, maybe we can, like, go after, you know, give him 5 extra points. And we'll give Ben Moraski 5 extra if we can afford it. Oh, we actually are maxed out on him. So we'll go Traylon Ray with 5 extra. Yeah, y'all ended our season, and I like y'all's team, too. I usually hate all other SEC schools, but slouch Carolina. Yeah, that wasn't a typo. You put that on purpose. Yeah, I don't have anything against Tennessee, you know. It was, I won't lie, it was one of the most enjoyable games I've ever watched when that happened. But I don't have anything against Tennessee. I think, you know, they're a pretty fun team to watch. Peyton Manning went there, so that's a, you know, cool school to represent. I definitely will root for y'all before I ever root for Georgia, Missouri, or Kentucky. Like, those teams are way below Tennessee on my, or way above Tennessee on my hate list. I will never root for those teams, as we actually finally get a commit. Unfortunately, Jordan Phillips, we just, oh my goodness, we just buried all of those points into. He commits to Georgia Tech. That one hurts, I won't lie. That one definitely hurts. North Dakota State. 2-minute warning. Leading Colorado 20-14, and they got the ball back on offense. Rooting for the upset. I want to see North Dakota State upset Colorado. That would be hilarious. The most popular 4-win team I've ever seen. Yeah, you can't really hate Vandy because they don't really ever cause you to hate them. I mean, honestly, sometimes I'd be forgetting Vandy's in the SEC, and now that I say that, they're probably going to beat us this year, but Vandy's always kind of the little brother and everything. Like, I know technically they're probably Tennessee's rival, but, like, are they really Tennessee's rival? Yeah, I've got the Colorado game on over here. Appreciate you stopping by, though, man. It's an exciting game. I don't have donations on. No, I don't have that set up. I appreciate it, though. But you don't have to do that. I appreciate the suggestion. I just, I'm a small channel. Don't have it set up. And then, if I'll be honest, I read every chat that comes through in the live chat. So, if you need to say anything, I'm reading it anyways. So, I just never really saw the point in setting it up. But maybe one day. I'm sure I'll set it up one day. But, I don't really want to have people do that. But just my opinion. But I appreciate you stopping in. Hopefully, are you rooting for North Dakota State or Colorado? I'm rooting for North Dakota State for sure. Hoping they can pull off the Bison can pull off the upset. I saw something that said they have like a 9-1 against FBS schools. You should set that up soon. I'd have no problem. Yeah, maybe I would look into setting it up. I'm not exactly sure what I have to do about it. I think I can't do it right now, I don't think, but I may have to have the partnership or whatever. I may have to have 1,000 subscribers and have monetization or whatever, which I'm only at. I'm right around 700, I think. I'm at like 670 or something like that. So I think I might have to have that in order to set it up. But once that happens, I'll probably look into setting it up and, just seeing if anything happens. But yeah, I appreciate you willing to do that, man. Appreciate you stopping in on the live stream. We're not really doing any gameplay today, but just going through, trying to get a good recruiting class. We're in the final week. A lot of these guys we're going to miss out on. I can already tell you that. We have a visit for him. I mean, we have Max for Deshaun Purdy. I just don't know what else to do for him, at least. I mean, we can go 25, see if that gets him some type of movement there. Where are we at on everybody else? Kamar, Missouri is not committing to us. Ben Morawski is hopefully going to commit to us. Does that mean I can schedule a visit for him? Yes, I can schedule a visit, but I don't know his interest. I'm going to go with playing style. Hopefully he's interested in that. Traylon Ray has us. We can finally schedule a visit for him. Does he have any interest in anything? He has no interest whatsoever in anything that we're good at. We're going to have to go on a guess and do proximity to home. Hopefully. And then maybe we can do 50 on him after that. We'll do the full 65. I really would like to get Traylon Ray on the roster. Deshaun Purdy, we just looked at. He's not going to be committing to us. Cameron Stewart, unfortunately, will not be committing. Jalen Richards, maybe. Schedule a visit for him. Let's see what he's interested in. Playing time is a good thing for him, and we have a minus on that. So we'll go ahead and schedule that visit. Ricky Lee III is hopefully going to commit. Chauncey Logan, we can actually bring him on a visit now, as he is interested in proximity to home as well. Denelius Johnson has us fighting for him with Wake Forest. Wake Forest. It's going to be a tough battle there. I really, really would like to get him to commit. The rest of these guys hopefully should commit, once we advance the week. And we do have extra points, so let's see. Is anybody else interested in us that has us first overall that I haven't went after? Quincy Cumberland, I mean, we might as well. He's a 1-star, but what are you going to do? Anybody that's not offered yet? Jericho Washington, transfer freshman. Might as well go after him. He has no offers just yet. Strong safety, he has offers. We really can only afford to go after guys who have no offers right now. Cade Costas is there. And then Hammond Russell is still there without an offer. So let's see who we need to prioritize. I'm definitely, sorry, Quincy Cumberland, dude. Not really all that interested in you. We're going to go after Hammond Russell first. We're going to give him 50 burger. never mind. We're going to give him 25 and 5. We're going to give you a scholarship offer. We're going to give you a scholarship offer and just hope one of them might go out on a limb and commit. I think that's the best we can do, and that's all the points we have. Man, this didn't go as planned, if I'm being honest. I mean, nobody's committed that I really wanted to. We're here. We've got to advance. Week 4 of week 4. We'll advance and see who we get to commit. Before I look into that, North Dakota State punting the ball to Colorado, downing it inside the 3. What a punt. Under a minute to go in the half. NDSU up 20-14 last year. Now they're showing highlights of their pointless win against TCU, open up the season last year. Yeah, hopefully Colorado loses that. But back to this. Ruben Terrell, 2-star right end commits. We get Chauncey Logan. That's a big one. I was really hoping to get him. We get Hammond Russell. Those points we went in at the very end there. We're able to get him to commit. And that's it. No. Oh my goodness. We didn't get anybody. Hardly got anybody. Did they just not commit? I think a lot of them just didn't commit. We got Chauncey Logan. We got Hammond Russell. Danelius Johnson is a 3-star. We lost out on to Wake Forest. We lost out on to Sean Purdy. Oh man, we just didn't get anybody, did we? Man. Dennis Yeast goes to... Oh, he committed, but it just didn't pop up. Okay, he did commit. Okay, I'm fine with that. Andre Oladukin, we got... Oladukin. How am I going to pronounce that? Oladikin. Andre Oladikin. There we go. That's how it's going to be. He committed. He just didn't pop up. Chuck Creed goes to Jack State. That's all right. Yeah, we did get Jalen Richards. As I said, we missed out on... Okay, we did better than I thought we did. Traylon Ray, Ben Morosky is probably going to be our starting right guard. Jericho Washington did go. Hey, we got 2 of the 3 guys that we poured points onto at the very end there. Cade Costas and Hammond Russell. I mean, that's a pretty good outcome in my opinion. Where do we finish out on the recruiting class? Probably... Oh, man. Okay, I thought we were going to be really low. Did I pass us? Okay, so we're above 50 then. Okay, whew. 41. When I didn't see us at 50, I thought we had fallen like into the 70s or something. I'm trying to figure out how that happened. We ended up 13 3-stars, 12 2-stars, and 2 4-stars committing between transfers and rookies or freshmen. Let's see if Shadur has it in him to throw an interception here. I would love to see a pick 6 right now. They got 35 seconds to go, 2 timeouts at their own 24-yard line. So, I mean, it's not over for the half. Outside pass is caught. Yeah, not a bad throw to start the drive. Here's everything. We do have a few. Why am I going to a different school? So, I know we have a few athletes. Clifton Bynum. Where do we want to throw him at? He was projected as a center. He's going to look like a pretty good tight end, a pretty good defensive tackle, and a better offensive lineman, or a slightly better offensive lineman than what we have right now. Let's go ahead and look at our positions right now. Tight end, you're looking at David Larkins. We do not have a lot of speed at tight end. We might have to get David Smith in there a little bit. 85 speed. I mean, come on now. We might have to get David Smith in there. Kanan Hamlet is back, though. Tight end is a logjam. We could use an offensive lineman. We could use a left guard. For real. We really could. Yeah, he's definitely going at left guard. Because, man, we're not very good. Some of those guys are going to develop, but doesn't look pretty at all. We're going to stick him at left guard. Clifton Bynum is going to be a... Well, I guess he's actually really bad at left guard. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I do not see... Oh, it's right here. I thought that said left tackle. Okay, yeah, we're going to change his position to left guard. See the other two guys we have. Andre Oladikin, however you want to pronounce it. Vertical threat tight end. I think we're just going to stick him at receiver. We've got a lot of guys that have most of these other positions that I'm pretty happy with. So we're just going to stick him where he belongs. And then Caleb Toll. Could be a tight end, apparently. Could be a fullback. Could be a receiver. We're going to stick him at quarterback. I want to see how he can perform at quarterback. That is all the position movements. This is our quarterback position right now. Not the prettiest. Billy Wiles is probably going to get the nod just because of overall. But Caleb Toll is definitely going to get in the game at 88 speed. Matthew Wilson may even have a chance. I mean, we'll see what exactly happens. Matthew Wilson's allegedly a scrambler. No, not anymore. He was, but he developed outside of being a scrambler. Yeah. That's what the roster's looking like going into Season 2 as of right now. 9 seconds to go for Colorado. They're at the 40, so, I mean, they've got a chance they could get into field goal range. They still have a timeout left. Let's see. Trying to see if they get into field goal range, or maybe they go for a touchdown. I mean, I guess they could go over the top to Travis Hunter. Shadur under pressure down the middle. It's caught. Wow. Falling down. They call a timeout. Wonder if they're going to kick the 3 or if they're going to go for it. I mean, you're at 1st and goal now. Why not go for it? So let's see where everybody stands. Billy Wiles doesn't even get better. I mean, he goes up 1 point. Oh, my goodness. Goes up to a 75 overall. Okay, am I not seeing this correctly? Did nobody get better? Kanye Roberts stays the same. Kamani Alexander does get better. He jumps up like 12 to a 77 overall. He's fighting now for the starting job. Crazy. Michael Hetzel gets better. Grant Tucker, he was a guy that I was talking about earlier, a freshman that didn't really play all that much, but I'm pretty happy with him getting better. Tight ends, David Larkins, Kanan Hamlet, Max Drag, Jack Kelly. Left tackle gets a little bit better. Left guard gets slightly better. Center gets better. Hopefully he doesn't allow 8 sacks on the year again. Right guard gets better. Right tackle. Man, we're kind of stacked at right tackle. What is our left tackle looking like again? I mean, I wonder if those guys could maybe swap over and play guard. Like, can Jaden Ramsey play guard? He's a senior. Why not stick him there and get him on the field? Left end is going to be Kevin Abrams-Verwain. He gets slightly better. Right end is going to be Josiah Wyatt, 79 overall. Marcus Clark at defensive tackle with Santana Hopper and Joshua Donald all going to be fighting for minutes. Left outside linebacker, we still got Nate Johnson and Thomas Davis. Middle linebacker, we've got Darrell Farrar and Kyle Arnholt. Caden Sullivan starting at right outside linebacker. Honestly, I think Thomas Davis is going to get the nod there just because of overall-wise. I'm sorry, man. I mean, you know, cornerbacks, Ethan Johnson is going to be the starter. Then we have Elijah M. McCantos, Trenton Allen-Yo, and Tyshawn Sanders. Then we have Jason Chambers and Deion Candidate are the guys that were already on roster. Kai Fernandez, 76 overall, is probably going to be our starting free safety. We'll have to take a look. And then let's see, strong safety Jordan Favors somehow doesn't get better after having the year of his life. And Jackson Moore jumps up a lot. That's going to be really helpful. Colorado went with the field goal. They just settled for the field goal. That was a little shocking. I was expecting them to go for it. They're down by 3 at halftime. Let's see here. Anybody say anything about Colorado? Nothing so far. Now we can encourage transfers. We have to cut 2 guys off the roster. Franklin Barrett, sorry, dude, you are gone. And then Jalen Calhoun, probably going to be gone. I mean, who is a veteran? Like, do we really need a 65? I mean, you're not going to play anyway, so why would we get rid of a younger guy when we can get rid of an older guy? And we do have a lot of upgrade skills now. Let's go ahead and max out those abilities. DB, we're going to go for quarterback. We're going to be going for pretty heavy this season in the recruiting rankings. Increase weekly hours for running backs. Go after O-linemen. Go after linebacker. Those were all our points, unfortunately. Let's see. Skip ahead a week. I'm not going to mess with the custom conferences. I think they still have a bit of a glitch in the system. But we will officially set our depth chart as we enter the preseason, I believe, of year 2. So, yeah, we are now in the preseason. This is what our schedule is looking like going into year 2. We have a bye week. We have Charlotte at Charlotte. Then we host number 8, North Carolina State. That's going to be... Man, that's going to be rough. That's about like the Clemson game. Then we take on Toledo, Boise State. So we get to play on a blue field as well as another blue field. So 2 blue fields this year. Then any new teams this year? No, we actually play... Do we not play any new conference teams? I guess in the Sun Belt, you don't play new conference teams. That's crazy. But we'll play the same teams. We still have different games here. Charlotte, NC State, Toledo, and Boise State. All our teams that we will be playing. Let's take a look at our roster. Preseason top 25 will be interesting actually at first. This is what everybody's looking like. Ohio State coming off of the national championship. Kansas State gets number 25. Preseason All-Americans, did we get anybody? I doubt it. Not on the national team, that's for sure. Caden Salter is still at Liberty somehow. I swear he was a senior last year. Preseason second team, nobody. Let's see if we have anybody in the Sun Belt. Thornton Gentry. Okay, I'll take it. Nate Johnson, Ethan Johnson, and Jordan Favors. And then second team, we have Luke Burgess somehow. Thomas Davis. And that is it. Let's see. We now will get to officially set our depth chart going into year 2. I mean, quarterback is the most important position. Billy Wiles is going to have the... He's going to have the go-ahead, I imagine, at a 75 overall compared to our other 2 guys. But he's not very good either. I mean, he's got better throw power. He's got much better accuracy on all of it. I like Caleb Toll. We've got to get Caleb Toll in the game somehow, but we're going to go with Billy Wiles as our starter for right now. And if we start to do bad, don't get me wrong, he's going to come out of the game. I have no attachment to him. We've got to go after quarterbacks pretty heavy next season. Kanye Roberts will get the start at running back. Kamani Alexander is going to back him up. As Western Carolina, wow. Anybody watching that game, Western Carolina tied with NC State, now losing by 3 right after half. That is crazy. And that's a home game, too, for NC State. Missouri and Murray State, I'm interested to see what's going on there. Missouri is probably demolishing them, I imagine. Luther Burden. Early touchdown, it looks like. Yeah, they're demolishing them, it looks like. 7-0, about to be 14-0. Missouri's not going to struggle. Receivers now. Where do we go from here? Grant Tucker. Okay, this is what I like. Grant Tucker, Michael Hetzel, and Traylon Ray, and then we have a couple of solid guys down there at the bottom. Then we have our freshmen, Andre Oladikin. Caleb Toll, I mean, they say he should get some time at receiver. He's 80 catching. Maybe we see him at receiver a little bit as some backups. Ezekiel Wanham, not as good as I thought he was going to be. Tight end, David Larkins is probably going to get the start. I mean, maybe not, though. Keenan Hamlet looks like he could be slightly better. He's definitely more athletic. But he does not have I think I'm going to start Kanan Hamlet. Call me crazy. I think that little bit of extra speed for Kanan Hamlet is going to matter. I think it's going to make a difference. And we're definitely going to see... Where's he at? Down here. David Smith is definitely... Jonathan Doss. I don't want Jonathan Doss out of the lineup. Okay, yeah. David Smith is definitely going to see the field at some point, but he'll probably get redshirted. Left tackle, we have Luke Burgess starting. Okay, I don't mind that. I mean, I feel like maybe we should have the left tackle starting in that situation, but that's just my opinion. So who's starting at right tackle then? For whatever reason, we have them swapped. Okay. Left guard is a 74 overall sophomore transfer, Ben Morosky. We could start Jaden Ramsey. I mean, I don't see why we don't start him. I think he can play a guard. I think he'll do a good enough job there. Center can be good. Right guard, we saw Clifton Bynum, the freshman's going to be starting. What if we use our backup center? Jake Gano, what is his rating at right guard? He's pretty good at right guard. We're going to have to makeshift a offensive line. We're going to have a bunch of guys out of position, but we're going to do our best to make everybody work together. And then at right tackle, we have Thornton Gentry and Markel Samuel. Now, if we get injuries, we're kind of messed up there. Josiah Wyatt is our starting lineman. Jalen Richards, who we brought in, a transfer. And then we also have A.J. Mabane. Right end goes to Kevin Abrams-Verwain, 73 overall. Cade Costas is there. I mean, Josiah Wyatt starting at the other position. Jalen Richards. What does Jalen Richards look like compared to... I would like to see what Jalen Richards looks like compared to this man, AJ, or Kevin A.W.A.V., Kevin Abrams-Verwain, because that's going to be a fun name to say. 74 speed compared to 73, 83 acceleration. Yeah, it's pretty close. I think it's pretty negligible. Defensive tackle, Marcus Clark is going to be starting. Him and Santana Hopper will be sharing snaps there. We've got a couple other guys down here farther on the depth chart. Nate Johnson is going to be starting at left outside linebacker. He's going to be followed by Caden Sullivan. Sorry about that. I mean, you know, it sucks that your senior year you won't be starting, but he'll still get on the field. Darrell Farrar is starting. Kyle Arnhold is going to be our second man. Right outside linebacker, thankfully, goes to Thomas Davis. We found a way to get him on the field. Cornerbacks, like I said, Ethan Johnson, McCantos, Trent Allen-Yo, Chauncey Logan, and Tyshawn Sanders, a redshirt freshman. Strong safety or free safety is going to be the transfer Ricky Lee. So that ends up being a really good transfer. We get him in to start for us over a freshman. And then Jordan Favors starts, and that will give Trey Lenhart a chance to improve. Kicker, Jackson Moore. Punter is still going to be Mitchell Lake. Kick returner, they're looking to give it to Nick Miles. I don't think I really like that. He's not all that fast. But, I mean, he's a, you know, he's a JUCO sophomore commit. We'll give him a chance. And then punt returner will also give him a chance there. Kickoff specialist, long snapper, we all know. Third down back, Kanye Roberts. Definitely going to go with him. Power back, Anderson Castle. Slot receiver is going to be, I think I honestly want Michael Hetzel to be in the slot. Do we not have a designated slot receiver? Elusive back, that could be interesting. We don't have a designated slot receiver. I don't think Dalton Stroman is necessarily a slot receiver. We're going to give it to Traylon Ray. This is going to go to Nate Johnson, Thomas Davis, Marcus Clark. Sub linebacker, the first one off the bench is going to be David Farrar, and slot cornerback is going to be Trenton Allen-Yo. As that will conclude off-season number 1 thank you all for watching this one. Thank you for joining me on this live stream again. The team's definitely gotten better. We're technically a higher overall. We're an 80 overall going into year 2. Hopefully our record can reflect an improvement. But at 7-6, it's going to be rough to get to a better record than that, in my opinion, especially with the slight improvement we made. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining in on this live stream. Had a blast as always. Thank you all for all the interaction. Be on the lookout in the next couple of days for my next episode of the App State series. Season 2 will begin. Also, be on the lookout for a pretty interesting video I made, the top 5 teams, in my opinion, to rebuild in NBA 2K25. And in a couple of weeks, my NBA series in NBA 2K25 with the New Orleans Pelicans. Thank you all for joining me on this live stream. Everybody have a great rest of your night. I'm about to finish watching this North Dakota State game and talk to you all next time. Appreciate it. Peace out, y'all.